Hello, everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock with the eCom Sellers Podcast. And I have with me today my co host, my partner in crime.
Hello. Kelly the Ecom on board.
And I am so glad that Kelly is with us. We come to you every Monday. Typically, it's at 8:30 p.m., but just a heads up, we are changing our time in a couple of weeks. So October the 1st, we are moving our time to earlier. So it will not be at 8:30. It will be at 5 or 6. I thought I would have had that nailed down by now. It's probably going to be 6. But in any case, 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. And we broadcast live on the Ecom Sellers Academy Facebook fan page, the Ecom Seller Summit fan page, and also on our YouTube channel, the Ecom Seller Summit. So please go follow us on our YouTube channel, Ecom Sellers Podcast, where we will be coming to you with e-commerce news, tips, and more. So Kelly, what's going on with you and your business these days?
I've been listing a lot of holiday stuff. Listed one thing and it sold just like that. So, but that wasn't a holiday. Well, it was a patriotic item, but it's something I'm gonna probably. It was vintage stickers.
Okay.
I paid 13 cents because they were like 25 cents originally at the thrift store, and then they're the 50% off color of the week. And so I paid, that's about 13 cents to pay for it. And I listed it and it sold for $7.99 plus shipping. Just like
nice.
within, I looked down, I was like, dang, it's sold already. I must have underpriced them.
Maybe.
But vintage stickers, if you find vintage stickers, new in package or half a sheet of them, they sell.
I didn't understand that.
Okay, nice. Well, earlier today, I got a cha-ching. I haven't had a chance to look at it because I've just been so slammed on other stuff. So at some point, I'll go look at it and see what's happening. There is so much going on in my life and in my business. So, we just kind of trying to work through it all, just trying to manage it all. And we've been very busy. So I did do a Facebook Live earlier this weekend, last weekend, to talk about, our post office is stacking up or stocking up. They've got lots of stacks of boxes. And I know we've been talking about shipping for the last couple of weeks. So just wanted to remind everybody that if you haven't gotten it together with the whole, figuring out your game plan for Q4, you are 2 weeks from the start of Q4 as of today. So you got to button it up, nail it down, figure out something, get it going, because we are right there on top of Q4. So with that being said, Miss Kelly, I'm going to let you have the floor. Take it away with the news, and then I'll come behind you. And
all right. Let's see. eBay, sellers are reporting that the new listing tool, because eBay's making this new listing tool so it could be the same around, as it is a computer, as it is on the devices and such. And sellers are reporting that the tool lacks the priority mail small flat rate option, like the small box flat rate option. So hopefully they can fix that. So I guess if you plan to send something as a small flat rate, you can do like maybe a flat rate price instead of doing it as the small flat rate. So that way, you can charge a flat price and still be able to use that flat rate shipping. Walmart's launching a virtual try-on tool. I've actually used it. It's on their app, and you can pick, because you look on, you try, if you're looking at clothes online, and they have a model. Usually, it's some kind of really skinny size 0 model that you're, or you're like that lady, or if you're in the plus size range, they have someone you're like, there's no way that person is plus size. Okay. So you're like, how would this look like on me? And they actually have different models. I actually tried this. So it's not every piece of clothes. It's clothes that's sold by Walmart. And they have different models of different heights and weights and everything. And you can choose one that's close to your weight. and then you can choose that outfit or that shirt or that dress or whatever you want to look at and see how it looks on their body that's close to similar to your body. Because, they're trying to entice people to buy more clothes right now because people have been, not buying as much because of the prices of everything. So they have that try-on tool in their app. It's kind of cool. I thought that was that's cool. I can actually find someone close to what my body shape is, and see how. Oh, maybe that dress doesn't look too good on that.
There you go.
Amazon, there's a lot of announcements since they were having their stellar conference this week. One of the things is for faster payouts, qualified sellers will be able to get payouts into their bank accounts within 24 hours instead of 3 to 5 business days. It's called the Amazon Express payouts, and there'll be a 50-cent charge for doing that. And also, they are going to have a free access to multi-channel shipping software developed by VEEQO. VEEQO, I think is how you'd say it. It offers discounted rates from Post Office, UPS, FedEx, and DHL. And this software used to be $450 a month, and so now it'd be free for Amazon sellers.
Okay.
And you can use it with other platforms, including eBay, Etsy, and Shopify. So you can use it for your other platforms that you sell on besides Poshmark and Mercari. They have their own shipping thing, but that's another thing to look at to save money on shipping.
Yeah.
Because Amazon can command a really good discount.
Yes, they can. Volume.
And that was all the news that I really saw.
Okay. Well, we'll probably come back with more stuff that's coming from the Amazon conference Accelerate. And again, if you registered for that, I think you can still watch. But I think they only had the 2 open sessions that were virtual. All the other smaller sessions, I think when I showed it last week, you couldn't even get into those. So if you didn't get a chance to watch and if you were able to get into some of those other ones, congratulations. But if you weren't, just don't be surprised, because when I was trying to show online what the options were, I think I was in the eCom Sellers Academy Facebook group just trying to show them how to register for that. So anyway, all right, so I'm going to share my screen. We're going to burn through some news. There's a lot of different news articles out there. So of course, I'm always doing the news articles, and my screen display has changed, guys. So it's kind of weird now for me. I don't know why. I haven't been able to fix it. So here we go. All right. So the first one, I believe this article comes to us from Best Life. And they're talking about some of the grocery store chains that are closing. Why does this matter? Well, there might be some grocery stores that are closing near you. That may mean that there might be some, sales discounts, or they're going to package it up and take it to another location nearby. But some of the stores that are mentioned, there's Kroger. They're closing some of their locations. I know the one that's near us is closing. We were not happy about that. Then I don't know how to say it. Little. I don't know how to say it. But anyway, I think that's the name of the store that also has some store closings coming up. ShopRite. So you might want to check to see if any of these stores are somewhere near you. And a handful of Giant Eagle and Whole Foods they're closing some of their locations as well. So just a handful of those. So you might be on the lookout for that, just so you're aware of some of the stores that are near you, especially if you're doing retail arbitrage and you're sourcing from some of these stores, or maybe you find some great deals at some of the stores that are closing because they don't want to box it up and ship it somewhere else. So that comes to us from Best Life. The next article comes to us from CNBC. They're talking about Bed Bath and Beyond. They're closing 150 stores, as I talked about. I think last podcast is that they negotiated some deals. There's a lot of stuff that's going on with Bed Bath and Beyond, and so they've got some store closures. So you probably want to check to see if any of your stores are on the list, and if they are, again, it might be an opportunity for you to grab some inventory. That also means that some of this inventory is probably out there in the stratosphere and available at some of the liquidation outlets near you, so that you can grab that inventory at a deep discount. Okay. Then this next article comes to us from Best Life, and it looks like CVS is also closing some of its stores. They'd already talked about Bed Bath & Beyond. Walmart already had a couple of stores that they're going to be closing. We already know about Sears. But H&M also has some store closures. So again, you're going to see some discounts, some deals that are going to be coming our way. So look for your local CVS. Sometimes you can find some really great things at CVS. I'm kind of shocked because every time I turn around, they're always building a new CVS. So the fact that they're closing some of them shocks me, because I'm always seeing a new CVS somewhere. So anyway, again, that comes to us from Best Life. So be on the lookout for those that might be closing. Then this next article comes to us from Retail Wire. Retail Wire is talking about Walmart and other retailers are canceling billions of dollars in orders. And I have literally been talking about this for the last 2, maybe 3 months. So if you've been under a rock and you haven't been paying attention, Target, Walmart, Macy's, Kohl's, and Bed Bath & Beyond, and several other retailers have canceled orders that they had previously placed. And so you have to know that a lot of these retailers, they place these orders anywhere from 18 to 36 months in advance. And then, of course, the orders get filled or fulfilled. And then, they get shipped, and they're on the docks, and then they get checked in and they go to their warehouses. Well, because sales have slowed down, they've just been canceling orders left and right. So that means that the liquidation space has just been blowing up with inventory that's not returns. This is inventory that hadn't even been picked up. So again, if you have the capital, you can acquire some of this inventory. You have to know that some of these products are selling like crazy. So again, this comes to us from Retail Wire. I've been talking about this for the last, I feel like the last 2 months. Alibaba is launching a $750,000 manifest grant programs for U.S. small businesses. So I'm not really sure 100% what the impact is for this for small and mid-sized businesses. But the thing is that, anytime that there's a grant out there, if you're selling any level of volume, you might want to go see if you qualify for any of this. So I believe that it's being distributed through payments, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, nope, not payments. The article is on payments.com. But you might just go do some research. This article, again, is on payments.com. Alibaba did a press release. And so, again, $750,000 is nothing to balk at. And if you maybe have a private label brand, they're giving away 50 small business grants at $10,000. So I think everybody could use $10,000. So if you've got a private label brand, a product that you created, even, if you've been selling for a while, you just want to fund your business, just go see. You might be eligible for that. This article comes to us from CNBC, and consumer watchdogs plan to regulate the buy now, pay later lenders that are similar to credit card companies. So here's the deal. Typically, this buy now, pay later has a huge high interest rate that's tacked onto it. And so, there's been a lot of talk about, this payday loans and the fact that there's huge interest rates on that. Well, this is indirectly some form of that. And, by the time you end up paying for this, you could end up paying way more than the thing is worth. So they are trying to regulate that. I think we talked about this in the summer, that some of the stores were starting to offer this buy now and pay for it later, so you can get it and make payments on it. And so just look at the interest rates on some of those. Consumers don't always look at that. They just impulse buy. And so that's what they want. And when they go do the impulse buying, that is, then they have the repercussions of that. So just pay attention to that. I would encourage you as a seller, as a reseller, as an e-commerce seller, buy now, pay later. If you've got a payment plan worked out for funding your Q4, if you've got a payment process for acquiring your inventory for your vendors, or maybe you saved for that, that's fantastic. But if you are doing any type of loans, I just want to encourage you to go look at the interest rates for them. I don't do loans. I don't think Kelly does loans.
Nope.
Nope. We just reinvest 100%. All right. So this comes to us from businessjournals.com, biz journals. And Amazon is closing one of its 400 job North Carolina warehouses. So they're shedding industrial space. I feel like last year just before this time, probably last July, not of this year, 2022, but 2021, we talked about Amazon and a lot of different businesses scooping up this warehouse space because the e-commerce, business was just blowing up and people were needing space. An example would be Alibaba has suppliers that actually ship their stuff to warehouses here in the US and store it so that way customers that are buying in the US and in other countries as well can receive their inventory much faster. So there was a big push after COVID happened, probably sometime after July or August of 2020, to buy warehouse spaces. And it actually made the news. It was in the news for several weeks and several months, not several weeks. And so now we're at a slowdown. People are like, we've bought enough warehouse spaces for the last 18 to 24 months. And now some of these guys are wanting to get rid of it. So Amazon was one of those. They're getting rid of some of their space. And unfortunately, maybe they got too much space and they're letting some people go. I think you're going to continue to hear this, not just with Amazon, but with some of the others who have potentially purchased a lot of warehouse space. So if you're a person that is outsourcing to a prep center, fulfillment center of any type, 3PL, and they acquired some extra space in your inventories there, then just be prepared for that potential transition back to wherever your inventory was going before. So, or maybe there's no impact whatsoever. But I'm not surprised by this. This one is coming to us from ARS Technica. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. What do you think? Technica? I think that's what you say.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I read about this. This is interesting.
I think this is interesting too. So you guys can go and look at this article. But basically, they're saying that Amazon has ruined online shopping, and they're suing because it's driving up prices. So the lawsuit mirrors DC's case that was dismissed in April. So now the DOJ backs the DC appeal. We're going to see what happens here. They're just saying that Amazon is driving up prices. The Amazon, much like Walmart, when they come into the space or whatever the product happens to be, over the years, people were really, 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 really mad at Walmart because once Walmart came in, all the mom and pops would be gone. They would be out of business. And then, because they can't compete with the prices, or, because Walmart would drive down the prices and drive the mom and pops out. Well, Amazon is doing the opposite because they're saying that they're raising the prices. And so then people can't compete again. So anyway, it'll be interesting. Kelly, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, one of the things was they talked about how like some sellers who sell multiple platforms, like they sell on Amazon and Walmart and, maybe have a Shopify store or whatever, and saying, Amazon's fees are so much higher that they have to sell it at a higher price at the buy box.
Yep.
To
get a break even.
To make some money.
Yep.
But they don't want to undercut themselves on their other platforms. because then people won't buy off of Amazon. They'll just, keep on buying, so they have to keep the prices high on the other platforms to match what their prices are on, Amazon. So that's one of the things they're talking about for this lawsuit is that's why why it's raising prices.
All of this is a challenge, so this will be interesting to see how this plays out. I would encourage you to follow this. You can go read this article yourselves. And as we hear news and listen to news, we'll share the news. But that is, that's an interesting one. Very much so. All right, this one comes from Business Insider. Amazon says that it's going to raise the pay and some benefits for some of their delivery drivers. So we already know that Amazon has been going through or been sort of semi-fighting the unionizing of some of its warehouses and some of its positions and things like that. So again, this comes to us from Business Insider, and I'm sure that all of that is played into this and Amazon wanting to do more. They should do more. I mean, some of the stories you hear are just crazy. I mean, I remember my brother my sister-in-law were Amazon delivery drivers for a while. And then, they let them go for different reasons. So now, and it could be stupid stuff like, oh, you have one package that didn't get delivered. And so they just let the drivers go. But in any case, they should pay them more because gas prices are higher. Maintenance for the car is higher because if you got to get car parts, that's higher. Like they should be paying them more anyway. They should have been paying them more to start with, and they definitely need to pay them more now. So I agree 100%. You want to add anything to that, Kelly?
I don't know if that includes the Amazon Flex drivers. Those are the ones that kind of do it kind of like DoorDash. You sign up to be a driver through Amazon Flex, and you sign up for a block, and you drive with your regular car and go pick up a bunch of packages. And I know those are
it's including Amazon Flex workers protested. Yeah. I just think that they should give all the drivers, whether you're driving with your own car, whether you're renting a truck, whether you're driving an Amazon van, like you should raise all the prices. I mean, raise everybody's salary. I mean, you're already charging the sellers high fees. So, and the gas prices are what they are. So come on. All right. So this article comes from us from MSN. And so this is a fun one. So this is talking about 17 items retirees should buy at Aldi's. And I always love these articles. You guys know that. I talk about them as often as I can because when people are talking about, I don't know what to sell, I pay attention to these types of articles. Not everything that is listed here you will be able to sell, but it can give you some product ideas. And the great thing about some of these is that it's automatic traffic because this article will get some traction because it's on MSN and it will continue to get some traction. So if you're interested in figuring out, these are clearly the majority of these items are all going to be consumables or replenishables. And what does that mean to us? That means as soon as people run out, they got to go buy some more. And if they got to go buy some more, why not you be selling those things so that you can have at least the baseline income that happens on autopilot? So some of these things you'll be able to sell, some of them you won't. And I would come check out this article. It comes from some MSN, so 17 products. Then this next one comes to us from Mashed. Not that you can sell scotch. But again, just an idea of products that are getting automatic traction. Like people probably didn't even know that Aldi sold scotch. And now they're just going to go just because this article has been published and maybe they've read it on social media, or they've heard about it. And so now they're going to go, they are interested in it, which means the sales are now going to continue to go up for this product. So again, anytime that there's something that's automatically getting some traction, if you can sell it, sell it. But yeah, they're scotch. I would have never thought that.
It depends on the store and it depends on the state because some states, Aldi's does sell liquor and wines and stuff and here in Texas they do, but in some states they don't. Some states there you can't sell wines and alcoholic items. So yeah, I'm in a lot of Aldi groups because I love to shop Aldi. So
I do too. It has become my new favorite place. I told my kids I walked past an end cap today. And I was like, oh, we're not buying these anymore. But well, it was something that I saw at Aldi's that I didn't see anywhere else. And I'm like, I am not. Oh no, I saw it at the Dollar Tree actually. We were buying them at Aldi's, and I'm like, oh no, we can get them at the Dollar Tree now. But there was a product that it was cheaper. If I can find it cheaper somewhere else, I'm like, I'm getting it. Let me read the label. So yeah, but I do that sometimes when I go into Aldi's. I'm like, oh yeah, we're not buying this at XYZ store anymore. We're buying it at Aldi's. So I've literally just consolidated the groceries down. My grocery bill has been crazy. The electric bill has been crazy. We don't have time to talk about everything that is the prices of everything that is just insane. My electric bill was just insane this month. But anyway, I'm sure yours was too, Kelly.
I don't know. My husband pays it, but it has. Well, I've been asking as we've been looking into solar power, and he's like, "Oh, it hasn't been too bad."
Well, mine has, and I'm like, "What?" So I don't understand it. It is way more than it's ever been. So. All right. So in this comes from NPR, and they're talking about the holiday season and workers at America's busiest ports are fighting the robots. So here's the deal. We know that inventory is continuing to come in from China and wherever else people have inventory coming in. We also know that there's a bunch of inventory that's not going to get picked up at the docks, which is a whole nother problem. And so they got to figure out where it's going to go. And these liquidation places need to get in there and get those containers out of there pretty quickly. But there's a lot of inventory that's coming in. So, if you're a person that is doing private label or white label, you're ordering your inventory from across the pond or across the ocean, wherever you're ordering it from, you just have to be mindful of the impact of the inventory taking a while to get to its final destination. And you also need to be aware, hopefully you already ordered your inventory. Hopefully you've already placed your orders, and your inventory is already here or, whatever. You have to have a game plan for this. You can't just not have a plan or strategy for receiving your inventory. It'll be terribly frustrating if you place your order and it doesn't come in until November the 15th. Now you can, make the listings go live on whatever platforms you want, as many as possible, and merchant fulfill the orders if you want to. But again, cutting it close like that, you should have a game plan. So I just want to encourage you that there are many different things that impact the arrival of inventory, and don't overlook the stuff that's happening at the ports. All right. The next one is where Walmart, Amazon, and Target are spending billions in a slowing economy. So they are actually, Kelly talked about one of those things, like they are doing some stuff with technology. What's that called again, Kelly? Where you can try on the clothes, but not try on the clothes?
They call it the try-on tool.
There you go. Whatever it is called. So this comes from CNBC. And all of the stores are, investing some money right now and some time in things that are going to help them get a leg up in the future. So they're investing money in technology. And hopefully that investment over time is going to yield them a reward, because they're saying that they're expecting, with expectations for sluggish consumer income to rebound in 2023 future markets. So this is the plan, is that they're expecting this 2022 Q4 to be a little more sluggish than it normally is, and they expect it to rebound in 2023. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. But they're investing in technology. So the thing that you need to be aware of is, as a seller, depending on which platform you're selling on or where you're sourcing from, there might be some things that will make your life a little bit better as well as a seller. So be on the lookout for those changes, those enhancements. If you source from Target, you source from Walmart, you sell on Walmart, you sell on Amazon, just be flexible to changes, because there's clearly going to be some changes coming. All right, and this article comes to us from The Street. So I don't normally like share these, but I know that Starbucks is a popular like retail arbitrage product that some people like are approved and ungated on Amazon to be able to sell. And so just know that you want to pay attention to recalls. It may not impact you, it may impact you. I was in the store today and I saw, not today, was it today? It was yesterday. And I saw in the store, Starbucks has the bottled, oh God, pumpkin, some kind of pumpkin latte or something that's in a bottle that you can buy at the grocery store now. And of course, I looked it up on Amazon and it's selling like hotcakes. And I was like, okay, how much is this thing selling for? These bottles selling for? And in the store, I think they're like $1.97 or something. They're selling on Amazon for some ridiculous price. But anyway, I'm just saying, be aware of recalls, pay attention to them. It doesn't just happen with food, it happens with many other things. So just be mindful of that. So that is the news wrap for Nicole. I'm sure there's some other stuff we're supposed to cover, but we'll come back around. All right, so now we're going to talk about the e-commerce tips. And again, we always talk about different tips. So let me just give you a disclaimer, and then I'll let Kelly share some thoughts as well. Amazon was much easier to sell on many years ago. Like we kind of got started in 2014, 2015, selling on Amazon. You know, there were people who selling on Amazon 2008, 2006, 2012, whatever. And to be able to sell on Amazon was a lot easier back then than it is right now. There's extra stuff that you have to go through. But at the end of the day, this is a business and you have to run the business like a business. So we're going to talk about some of the pitfalls that you should avoid as a seller, but just know that there are some challenges. Look, am I going to say that there aren't sellers leaving the Amazon platform? There are. The sellers are frustrated with the Amazon platform. There's been a lot of changes, a lot of things that have happened. Some of it is designed to help them to be more profitable. Some of it is designed to help us to be more successful. Some of it is just feels like, oh my gosh, can you please stop changing something new every day? That's what it feels like sometimes. So I'm not going to say this is not, I'm not going to say this is a bashing Amazon segment, but you just need to be aware if you want to sell on the Amazon platform, there's some things you need to be aware of and conscientious of. And if you decide that it's not for you, then that's fine as well. You can, if you try it later, just know that there's going to be some things you need to be mindful of if you decide you want to sell on Amazon later. So go ahead, Miss Kelly.
Yeah, like I said, I used to sell. I'm still a Amazon seller, but I've cut way back. It was a lot easier before, but then they started asking for a lot of stuff that wasn't, that I felt was like something that the manufacturers should do and not us as sellers. And then, it just seemed like the rules were changing all the time and everything. So, you just have to make decisions in your business, and go with what you like. I prefer to go to the thrift stores and finding the treasures that way and sell it on eBay and Etsy. I was doing books on Amazon. And if I find a book, I can list it merchant fulfilled. I'm just planning not to do FBA anymore. It's just, it's so much, it kind of takes the stress out of my business doing it this way now. You have to keep it all the stuff here, but
And I understand that there's a lot of sellers, like I said, that have walked away from Amazon, and some of them have changed their entire business model on Amazon, and some of them have moved towards private label. And you may decide, you want to do something different. So again, this is not intended to scare you from Amazon. It's not an Amazon bashing session. I just want you to be aware that there are some challenges the sellers do have, and I want to help you avoid those if at all possible. So we're going to go through this list. I'm going to go through the list. Kelly may chime in from time to time. So let's go. Yeah. The first one is those that get started selling on Amazon, not treating it like a real business. Like it's a random hobby. I do it on the third Tuesday of every month, maybe if I feel like it, if I'm not out playing golf. Like it's a really random business for them. So if you want it to be a random business, if it's a random business for you, you'll get paid randomly, and you will not get the traction that you need, because all the platforms, including Amazon, requires consistency. So if you want to get paid like a real business, you need to treat it like a real business, which means you have to invest the time and the energy needed to be successful on that platform. You got to treat it like a real business. Anything you want to share, Kelly? Because I can keep going.
Yeah, and you have to make sure that you're also keeping up with all the rules and everything, because Amazon is not forgiving.
Yeah, they got more interesting. All right. So the next thing is not knowing your numbers. So there are people that will get started selling on Amazon, and they will not be paying attention to all the potential numbers that could be impacting your bottom line. So, there are people who have $1 million sellers, but then when you look at their actual profits of what that out of that $1 million, how much money they really made, it's nothing like making $1 million and having $1 million in sale and only having $10,000 total for the year in profit. Because the bottom line numbers do matter. The profit margins matter, your sales, your transactions, and just randomly selling and saying, "Oh, I got to sell on Amazon," and then not really paying attention to, okay, well, how much did I pay for this item? How much did it cost me to ship it in? Oh, okay. Yeah. So you should always know your numbers, or at least attempt to try to know your numbers, and to be able to pay attention to that kind of stuff. Anything else, Kelly?
Yeah, you gotta know your fees. Make sure you're looking at the right fees, that you're thinking that you're only taking this amount of fees, and you're actually looking at the merchant fulfilled fees, and not the actual FBA fees. And then you're like, oh, look, I'm gonna make $2 on this, but no, you forgot to subtract how much you paid for the item, and you paid $3 for it, and you're only getting $2 back, so that puts you in the negative. So you have to really understand your numbers.
Yeah, pay attention to your numbers. So important. All right, and there you go. So not being prepared for the fees. So there are fees. Amazon is one of the higher platforms to sell products on. The thing is that Amazon is still king. We all admit it. We know it. It's a fact. They know it. And when we say Amazon is king, when people buy, they are going to Amazon more than likely. If you poll 10 shoppers that do online selling on a regular basis, at least 8 of them are starting with Amazon for their search. They may not ultimately 100% buy from Amazon, but they're starting with Amazon for their search, because they know that Amazon has so many available choices to them, not just in the US, but in some of the other countries. So when you as a seller are selling, people want to be on the platform where the traffic is, and Amazon has the traffic. Amazon is king. But the thing that you need to know about Amazon being king is that there's fees for the sellers. There's different fees for merchant fulfilled, which is you're shipping it to the customer, seller fulfilled, either way you want to look at it. And you doing FBA, Amazon fulfillment by Amazon, them handling it. And you just need to factor that in to whatever you decide to do if you're going to sell on the platform. There's also storage fees. There are, if you're going to let them do any level of the prep or the sorting, there are fees for that. If you want all your inventory to go to a specific warehouse, there are fees for that, especially if they're charging you, if they're saying, hey, we want you to split it out, but you only want to go to one location. That's called inventory placement. There are going to be some fees. So again, not being prepared for the fees, and then ultimately impacting your bottom line, which points back to your numbers, not knowing your numbers. Anything else, Kelly?
And the fee to be a professional seller on Amazon, $40 a month.
Yep, absolutely. So again, being prepared for all of that. Okay, not responding to IP claims or information requests. Look, Amazon is going to ask you, potentially, depending on what you're selling, for a lot of crap, including those people that do private label and white label and any other, they may ask you for something that does not make logical sense. Kelly can tell you that. I can tell you that. It's like, why do you need this information? There's no chemicals in this product. But again, some of the stuff that they ask for. So either not responding to or not reading or just not even checking your email. Like you got to run it like a business. Going back to the first one, you got to run it like a business. If you decide you're not going to run it like a business, then don't do it at all. What else do you want to add to that, Kelly?
Yeah, it's like all the time. But we want information on these we need the safety test on this coloring book. Really? A safety test on a coloring book? How bad does it give you paper cuts or what? So I'm like, some of the stuff is just absolutely crazy, and are like, we need the safety test on this, and so you'd have to go to get these tests. You have to go through a distributor to get the information from the manufacturer for the safety test that they did.
Yeah,
I understand, and so they're making it harder for us to do retail arbitrage to really, sell on here.
Yeah. Then there's some tools out there that can help you, identify if this is going to be a product that's going to have IP claims. Even if you're approved, and if you didn't grab the eCom Q4 Summit or the eCom Seller Summit, where Jeff Schick, the attorney, he's talked about IP claims in both of those two summits. Go back and listen to his session. But, IP claims is intellectual property. And even if you're approved, let's say I'm approved to sell Disney, that doesn't mean that a claim can't come back from Disney, because there's a whole process. There's two different processes going on. There's Amazon approving you to be able to sell Disney. That's one thing. And then there might be someone that's going through and checking all the approved sellers that Disney has said, yeah. And they're like, I don't recognize this name. And so then Disney kicks you off because of, the fact that they don't recognize you as a seller. So that's two different things that are happening here. And a lot of that gets very frustrating for some sellers. I'm like, I'm already approved to be able to sell this. What do you mean? And so how to fight those. So go back and grab, if you haven't listened to eCom Seller Summit 2022 or the eCom Q4 Summit 2022, but the one that was the eCom Seller Summit was in February, and the eCom Q4 Summit was in August. And Jeff talks about IP claims and how to help fight those, and then just, how to respond to them. And then also knowing what information to send to Amazon when they're asking for different things. Sometimes your receipt is not sufficient. It's not enough. And knowing what it is that they need in order for you to get through this. Now, there are sellers that have been selling for a long time, and they burn through those answers that Amazon is looking for because they're used to it and they know what to do. So those are people that sell regularly and they're consistent. So they figured out the pattern and they are able to respond. The majority of the time, those guys don't run into problems. 95% of the time, maybe even 98% of the time, they don't run into problems because they are regular, consistent sellers. And that's including retail arbitrage. Those that are new, it feels like, okay, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do next. And so they become frustrated. And of course, then they quit or they stop selling on the platform. So I just want you to be aware, there are actions that you need to take and things that you need to do on your side to deal with information that Amazon is asking for or to deal with or respond to IP claims. So yeah, there's stuff. And we'll get into some of that stuff in a minute. Not on this session, but we'll talk about it. All right. So not having a plan for the Amazon FBA limits. So there are certain times of the year where Amazon's going to change the inventory fees, storage fees. And you're going to be evaluated for your inventory limits. And you have to say, okay, I got a pallet of 1,000 of XYZ coming in, and they tell me I can only send in X number of units. So what am I going to do with this extra inventory? So, some people will store it in their garage. Some people will put it in a storage unit. Some people will send it to another fulfillment center that is non-FBA and just do seller fulfilled. So, you have to have a game plan for running this business. You need to have a strategy. And if you don't, you need to put one together. And getting organized. Like Kelly is actually... there's a couple of videos or a couple of times where she's talked about being organized in her house and having her inventory in a place where she can get to it. She's got her shipping supply. She's got things cataloged and things like that. Right now, my house looks like a complete disarray because we're always going through 9,000 tabs. But my point is, you have to have a game plan for your inventory, Amazon inventory limits if you're doing FBA. And if you're not doing FBA, that's fine. Just you still need to have a game plan for your inventory. Where you're going to store it, how you're going to store it, how you're going to catalog it, how you're going to find it, all that stuff. It's a business, run it like a business. Anything you want to add to that, Kelly?
Just keep up with your IPI number. That if you don't keep that up a certain level, then they'll just decrease your inventory limits. And if you're over that, you can't send anything in. They won't let you.
Yep. So again, running it like a business. Just want you to be aware of these things, not trying to scare new sellers, just preparing you for the Amazon journey. And you're probably going to be fine as long as you were trained appropriately on how to deal with the different things that happen as a seller. All right. So the next one's not being flexible with the platform changes. Look, I just read an article for the news where Amazon is telling you that they're investing in technology, and by default, the investment in technology is going to constitute a change. It is going to be something that the sellers are going to have to deal with, whether you're a private label seller, whether you're a white label seller, whether you're a print on demand seller, whether you are using, I don't care, KDP, if you're doing Amazon merch, if you're doing retail or online arbitrage, like there's going to be changes. And so not being flexible to the platform changes. Some people say it's too much. I get it. It is. Sometimes it's like, woo, this is annoying. But change is going to happen. So you have to be prepared and be flexible and be able to adjust to the changes. Anything else you want to add to that, Kelly?
Yeah, I was being good. I was dealing with good the changes, but then after a while,
it wears on you.
It's like, who are they trying to help here? The customer, or are they trying to help their sellers who actually, they make the money off the sellers. The customer, they don't make the money off the sellers.
Yeah. So it is what it is. It's always interesting. It's never boring. Not a paying. Go ahead, Kelly. I'm sorry.
No,
Okay. Well, not paying attention to your account health. So as Kelly talked about before, your IPI, you got to pay attention to that. You have to pay attention to everything. Like you don't want an A to Z claim. You don't want an unresponded to A to Z claim. Like you don't want, and this is not a teaching session. This is things you need to be aware of because we have a separate teaching session for Amazon, but things you need to pay attention to. And your seller account health is one of those. There's some things in your account health that you need to pay attention to. So if you are not aware of where you stand, that can impact your ability to sell on the platform, cause you to be suspended. Just depends on what it is. So not trying to scare new sellers, just saying these are things you want to pay attention to when you're writing your checklist of things that you're monitoring and being prepared to deal with as a new seller or an existing seller. Look, existing sellers have been doing it for a while and they're like, okay, yeah, sometimes it gets frustrating, gets old, the changes get annoying, and we get it. I understand. I get it. So I'm frustrated, but we work through it. I work through it. And, we try to come out on the other side. And don't think that this stuff doesn't happen to people who have private label accounts too. Not all of these things happen to them, but some of them do. Some of these things are more frequent for those who do the retail arbitrage model. Okay. Being honest, online arbitrage and retail arbitrage, where you're selling a variety of different products at any given time. And it can happen to random things have happened to people who do private label, or they're rolling out a new private label product, or they're making enhancements to it, or they're bundling it. Like some of this stuff can happen to them as well. So don't think that it doesn't universally happen to everybody. It's just some groups that sell a specific method or way may impact this, or may be impacted by it a little bit more than others. But it happens to everybody. Amazon is an equal opportunity annoyer. Okay, not making data-driven decisions when you're sourcing. there's a lot of stuff that, yes, I have purchased and inventory that I've listed and it didn't sell. And then there's inventory that I've listed and it did sell. And doing the analysis, knowing what the demand is, seeing what the interest is, knowing, who the avatar is and who that audience might be that might want this product, putting the product in front of the right audience, having the right keywords, having the right pictures. I could go on and on and on different things that can impact whether or not your thing is going to sell. You need to source right, source it for the right price. You need to source the right product when possible. But if it's a brand new product that's never existed anywhere in the stratosphere in the universe, then that is a completely different model where you don't have enough data. There might be some related products. There might be some similar products. There might be some interest that sparked because something happened in the news and all of a sudden there's a demand for this solution. And so if it's a big solution, then you can make data-driven decisions based off of the search for the solution. But the point is that you should be making data-driven decisions when sourcing any inventory for any platform, not just Amazon, at all times. You should be doing a minimal amount of research and you should know something about this product that you're potentially going to acquire to sell or that you're about to list. So learning how to make data-driven decisions when sourcing is extremely important. Anything else you want to add to that, Kelly?
No.
Okay. And then not making time to learn the business. Some people, they just like, oh, okay, I'm going to go do this business and I'm going to be, I've met people that do all kinds of stuff. Like they just decided I want to have an Amazon business, but I'm going to go let somebody else run it for me. And I'm going to be 100% hands off. And I'm like, you don't even know anything about how to log into your own account. You don't know how to create a listing or what a listing should look like. You don't know what the picture should look like. You don't even know that your descriptions are bad. Like how I would never start a business that I didn't at least run it myself or be actively involved in it for a minimum of 3 months. So I at least understand the foundation of running the business. And there are people that just, I'm going to hand it 100% over to somebody else. I don't even know what the login ID and password is. Somebody said that they will just go ahead and run my business for me. Well, okay. There's so many things that I have questions about. I'm not saying that there aren't legitimate versions of that business out in the universe, but you should know some of the basics about the business so that if that company ever folds for something that they potentially have done and they are now legally liable for, you know how to get into your own account. You know how to place orders. You know what inventory you're selling. You know what your listings look like. You know how much you're selling things for. You know what your profit margins are. Like you should know some stuff about your business. You need to learn the business. You should know what e-commerce method or model you're running. Like, oh, okay, are we doing retail arbitrage? Am I doing private label? Am I selling only private label products? What am I selling? Like, you should know this. Not taking time to learn the business or assuming, hey, I went and took this 1 hour workshop and I know everything I need to know. So I'm going to go do this Amazon thing. And it's okay. I mean, look, we all made mistakes along the journey in our lives. We have learned from our mistakes as we go along, but just going through a 1 hour session with somebody and really like, okay, there's so much more to understand when it comes to selling on Amazon. And 1 hour is not sufficient. I'm just going to tell you. There's so many little intricacies, but I'm not trying to paralyze a new seller. What I'm just trying to say is you can start and keep going and learn as you go versus assuming you got everything soup to nuts in a 1 hour session. That's all I'm saying. And then taking time to learn the platform. As we said at the beginning, like you got to know that Amazon has all these different requirements and you need to understand the requirements. Kelly said that at the beginning, you need to understand the requirements. You need to understand what restricted brands and restricted categories mean and what are the things that you got to do in order to deal with those restricted brands and categories. You got to understand that there's, and these are things that are in most cases unique to Amazon and not any other platform. So you want to be mindful of the fact that, hey, I'm also selling on Walmart and I don't have to do these extra things. I don't have to know these extra things. Yep, you're absolutely correct. And not saying that at some point Walmart's not going to require it. They might. Not saying that at some point eBay is not going to require some more stuff. They might. But you do need to understand the platform that you're selling on, what's required, and the things you need to stay on top of as a seller. So I hope this helps you on your journey as a seller. We do have an Amazon 101 workshop, and we invite you to come and learn about some of the basics of Amazon, and we can get into the weeds on some of the other things. But the Amazon 101 workshop, you can go to, it's our Switchy account at swiy.co/ESA Amazon, swiy.co/ESA Amazon. And so it's part of our eCom Sellers Academy, one of our workshops for selling on Amazon. Some of the basics that you need to know, some of the things that Kelly talked about, like, okay, what is IPI? What does that mean? What is an A to Z claim? What does that mean? Where do I find this stuff? How do I know what my profit margins are? Where am I checking to make sure that I have messages that I've addressed from Amazon? How do I determine what is a good product to sell potentially and what is not? So, or with the profit margins, I should at least be considering, I got to make at least this much on this particular product. So we're going to cover some of those things in the Amazon 101 workshop. We invite you to come hang out with us. You can register. If you're an eCom Sellers Academy member, you get this automatically. But if you're not an Academy member, you're more than welcome to join Academy. We have a monthly subscription and an annual subscription, so you can sign up for either one of them. But swiy.co/ESA Amazon. Come sign up, come hang out with us. Then the other thing is that inside your eCom planner, a lot of the stuff that we talk about, like tracking your numbers, tracking your inventory for new sellers, like a lot of that stuff is inside of your eCom planner. Being able to have access to that information, knowing where, knowing when you should potentially source different types of products, or when you should consider sourcing different types of products, having a game plan for running your business, keeping track of your monthly expenses. All of that is inside your eCom planner. So we invite you to go grab the My eCom planner. You can still get the 2022, or you can grab the 2023, either one. There's also the digital version that's still 40% off. So you can go grab the digital version of the 2022 eCom planner. But it is the ultimate e-commerce planner, and it's designed to help you. So if you want to excel in 2023, we invite you to grab it right now at a discounted price at myecomplanner.com before the price changes. And we are in the middle of the Q4 boot camp. If you are an eCom Sellers Academy active member, or if you're an eCom Sellers customer, you should have received an email inviting you to register for our weekly boot camp workshops. They are every Thursday. And so our next class is this Thursday that's coming up. You can grab the eCom Q4 Summit and automatically be part of the boot camp. You can sign up for eCom Sellers Academy and automatically be part of the boot camp. This is the free workshop series that we're offering to all of our active members and also our customers, because we appreciate you. We value your time, and we want to help you to be successful this Q4, be able to adjust to some of the changing landscape that's happening. So yeah, check it starts this week. It started last week. But anyway, and one thing I do want to encourage you, if you didn't already do so, you can grab the eCom Q4 Summit All Access Pass. Again, grab the eCom Q4 Summit All Access Pass, and you will get 50 leads every single week through the end of November. 50 leads every single week through the end of November. That will help you with your retail arbitrage, online arbitrage journey. I encourage you to take those leads and use them to help you find your replenishables or your consumables for the future. So again, if you go grab the eCom Q4 Summit All Access Pass right now, you'll gain access to a bunch of lists, but you'll also gain access to the 50 leads every single week. Those are emailed on Friday. So get your leads. If you don't want to grab the All Access Pass, and you can just pay to join the Retail and Online Arbitrage Leads List. So RAOA Arbitrage Leads List. And you can get your leads for Q4. So you have inventory that you can source to sell on Amazon or any other platform you want to sell them on. You don't have to sell all these products on Amazon all the time. So you can go to ecomsellersacademy.com right now. And once you do that, /RAOA leads. Again, ecomsellersacademy.com RAOA leads to grab your leads. Again, 50 leads per week if you don't want to grab the All Access Pass. You get way more with the All Access Pass. I'm just telling you, you get way more because you get lists. You don't get you get leads lists with the RAOA leads, but you'll also get some additional lists like that can help you. So with that being said, I think that is everything, Kelly. I don't think I have anything else. I think those are the big ticket items that are coming up. So we thank you all. We are glad that you're here. We're glad that you're our customers. We appreciate you. Let me get out of here. Me and Kelly are back. So, with that being said, my name is Nicole Whitlock, and this is the eCom Sellers Podcast. We come to you every Monday, and it's going to be in the future at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Mondays. Again, it's changing to 6 p.m., but the rest of this month is going to be 8:30. That's what it's been for the last 3 years, maybe 4 years. 4 years. It's been 8:30. I cannot believe that. So, we're moving it to 6 p.m. Put it on your calendar so that you're aware, so that you're prepared. And again, this has been the eCom Sellers Podcast. My co-host, my partner in crime is
eCom on board.
All right. We'll see you next week in another episode of the eCom Sellers Podcast. We're going to say goodbye for now. Bye, y'all.